As founder of Finding Our Voices, I want to share with all of you why I'm so passionate about helping others who are trying to cope with the after effects of sexual violence. Whatever age you are, whatever gender, the circumstances that led to the assault are all manifested in similar ways in the symptoms that occur after the assault. There's very little in our culture available for adult survivors of sexual violence, whether it was from childhood incest or from acquaintance or date rape or from a stranger. Adults are just left to cope with it on their own. That's why we have Finding Our Voices. Finding Our Voices has had annual art exhibits since the first one in 2007 that was sponsored by a community organizer for Tessa. I've been involved since 2008, and we became our independent nonprofit in 2009. We offer weekly support groups for women, bi-weekly support groups for men, monthly free art workshops for survivors and their allies, and then an annual art exhibit of performance and visual art, as well as the publication of a poetry book. I came to all of this because I am a survivor of childhood incest and family trafficking. Of course, back in the 40s and 50s, when my abuse was taking place, we didn't even have the term family trafficking. But that was what happened. And when I had flashbacks to this in midlife, it interrupted what was a seemingly normal life. And I ended up walking away from a business that I'd owned for 23 years and a marriage of 35 years, and coming to Colorado, leaving my home in western Kansas to try to hold on to my sanity and to try to recover stability from the massive influence of flashbacks that were occurring. I'm so grateful for all the help that I had and the many different modalities that I used to heal, that I want to share with other survivors and the survivors' loved ones. The secondary trauma survivors as well need to understand that sexual violence is an affront to the most intimate part of one's being, your own body. And so we don't get over it like we get over measles or the common cold. It's more like living with a disease like diabetes. And I want people to understand that we have physical reactions and psychological reactions, that it remains in our body until it's released, and the powerlessness feeling remains in our psyche until it's dealt with. But the most important thing I want others to know is that the hard work of healing is always worth the effort. Because on the other side, it isn't that we have forgotten or that we will ever be totally, totally free of being powerless during sexual assault. But it becomes a part of our history and not the main focus of our life. And we can go on and have a great deal of peace. We can be at ease with our Maker and with our personal and work relationships. We can learn to live and to navigate in this culture as a recovered or someone who has dealt with and integrated their sexual assault and the powerlessness that went with it into their history. And then we're ready to go on and live a meaningful life and a productive life. I wish that for all survivors, and hope that if you have been silent about it, you will understand that empowerment comes from using your voice. That's why we call it Finding Our Voices. Because when we use our voice and we share with others, we allow other people to help us heal. And we open that door where we can no longer need to hide our abuse. Because it is the secrecy, it is the hiding, it is the shame that is so destructive to our relationships and to our own physical health. In closing, I want to share with you, as I did in the beginning, that experiencing sexual assault remains in one's body until it is released, and it remains in one's psyche until it is dealt with. And it can be dealt with in many different healing modalities, which may include medications, and certainly includes talk therapy and various alternative methods of healing. But the most important thing for you to remember is that the hard work of healing and the hard work of recovery is worth all the effort it takes, because the other side of the hard work is peace. Peace with yourself, peace with your environment, peace with your maker, and just an ability to move with comfort in the world.